Pittsburgh's Brashear High School. Howman says it aims to inspire and prepare students interested in pursuing teaching careers.
There are students in the Pittsburgh Public Schools who do the Teacher Academy, who do become teachers who otherwise might not have, partly because of the, really wonderful teachers who have been part of that effort. Expanding that in more public schools across our state can make a difference.
Pennsylvania serves more than 1.7 million students in grades K through 12. This year, the Shapiro administration unveiled a $379,000 grant to create an apprenticeship program to produce more certified teachers for Pennsylvania schools.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Showers and thunderstorms expected throughout the day. Some of the storms could produce some small hail. Look for a high near 46. Rain will continue through the early evening, then mostly cloudy. Will drop down to a low of about 34. A mix of rain and snow likely tomorrow, then mostly cloudy with a high near 42. And a wintry mix expected during the early part of the day on Saturday. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a high near 48. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
It's time for Notes on Local Entertainment, the show highlighting the best in local talent, hosted by Scott Tady Entertainment, editor for the Beaver County Times, and Eddie Crow.
Forgive me. It took a little bit longer. I got to get the can. When Tady comes in, man, you are a gorgeous, gorgeous man, but you spend a lot of time on your hair, and it looks good. You got a shirt, it's buttoned down. It looks like the buttons are in the right order.
I dug up some khakis I haven't worn since the pandemic.
So what house are you pledging?
Delta.
It is Scott Tady of the Beaver County Times. He comes in and we talk about everything going on. You and Regis having a nice talk. Do you think people outside of Beaver County, or do you think people inside of Beaver County understand just how big a deal some of these events are, and they don't happen other places? Talking about the music festival, and that's not a norm in too many places.
I think they're kicking it up a notch now that it's run by Push Beaver County. The music lineup for the Maple Syrup Festival is stronger than it's ever been. There are bands that people will travel to see, like Pierce Dipner. Excellent blues guitarist,
Yeah.
Young guy. He's recently did some Army training. This is one of the first shows he's done since that. And that was one of my criticisms before the Maple Syrup Festival. I thought they needed a stronger lineup to bring people from outside Beaver County. People will always go to get the good syrup, to get the good pancakes, but this year they really kicked it up a notch. David Granati, of course, performing with his rock academies, and it's going to be a great time. I also like how they moved it to late in April. For years, that festival was always the first week of April. Always rainy, always muddy. Look what it was like this past weekend. And look what it's like right now. I covered that event so many times where you're slogging in mud. Mm-hmm. You needed hip boots practically. So that was another smart move.
Last year, I remember I wasn't working at Saturday. I knew Curtis and I worked at Sunday. Sunday it wasn't great, but Saturday it was straight up nasty. 35, 38 degrees, rain, and the lines went out the door.
People love that syrup. Once you've had that syrup, you never go back to Aunt Jemima or Mrs. Butterworth's. When you have the 100%.
Can you go back to Aunt Jemima anymore?
Well, that's true. Is that even a thing? I don't even know.
I don't think you can.
Point is, you can't do store-bought anymore. Once you've had that 100% pure maple syrup, it's the best.
Are you getting excited? Earlier, first hour, it was Jack Manning and Tony Amadeo, and they were talking about their calendars being full. Is this the busiest time of the year for you, or does it flesh out even more as the summer goes on? Seems like a lot of people want to hit the ground running as soon as the snow melts.
I think May and June are going to be the busiest. You have things like the Arts Festival in Pittsburgh. It's every single day. The outdoor concert season starts at Star Lake and Stage AE. May's going to be brutal. The Arts Festival starts early this year. I don't know if people realize it's actually May 31st. You always think of that like June 5th it starts, so I think that's going to kick things up a bit. But you're right about the Maple Syrup Festival. I always do the interview and ask, why is that so popular? And the answer always is, it's the harbinger of summer. It's the first outdoor big event in Beaver County every year, and people are just chomping at the bit. We've been inside for months, right?
We've unthought enough to want to go and see each other's really pale skin.
Bring sunglasses.
You mentioned the arts festival in downtown Pittsburgh. You spend much more time dealing with downtown and traffic than I do anymore. Are events like that suffering because of the building reputation of downtown being a mess?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to a show tonight at the PPG Paints Arena, Andre Bocelli, the great operatic singer. And you look on Ticketmaster, there's a lot of seats left. Went to see Bryan Adams about a month ago or so. They had the whole upper deck at PPG Paints Arena closed off. So maybe there is some kind of a hit with that. Parking has always been a pain in Pittsburgh. It's a
nightmare.
It's gotten worse. Yes, it's gotten worse. There's so much competition. We always talk about the craft breweries and wineries. You can go see live entertainment just down the road on a Saturday, Sunday at your craft brewery. Don't pay to park. Don't pay an admission charge. They're doing well. They're thriving. So maybe there's a bit of a change in, do I want to go to the city? Do I want to drive to Pittsburgh?
I remember the general rule was if I didn't have a parking space in the car, in the space, an hour before game time, whether it was hockey or football, whatever, you weren't going to make it.
Yeah.
And think about where we live. How many places are having events? You mentioned Craft Brew. Drive down the main road in Ambridge. There's stuff absolutely everywhere. Do you think people realize, and Sean McDowell told me this years ago, and I found it to be true, and I want to ask you. Scott Tady, Beaver County Times, is my guest. Is Western PA so provincial and so self-contained that people on the north side can't give you directions to the south side?
That used to be the joke about, you mean I have to go through a tunnel or cross a bridge to get there?
2 bridges? I can't do it. I live 13 miles from downtown Pittsburgh, and it's 1,000,000 miles away. You've been to my place.
Ambridge, yes.
We're close. Is that just the culture the way it's always been?
Yeah, like I go to the shows at Hartwood Acres. I go to the shows at South Park.
Dude, that's a drive, too.
You don't see people with both. I'm one of the few people that goes to both. They're an hour apart, but one's in the North Hills, one's in the South Hills. I think the trick is there's no easy way to get to either one. There's not a direct route that takes you right there, unless you do the turnpike and then you're paying like $8 one way to drive one exit, which is ridiculous. So
turn left at the Shaler Waterworks and stay on the single road, and good luck to you. Until
you see the taillights lined up, and then you know you're in the right place.
That's it. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Besides Bocelli,
there's a really cool band called Real Estate out right now. They're performing next weekend. It's a New Jersey band. It's kind of an indie sound. It's just got a really nice groove. We're going to see Suzanne Vega next weekend. Remember her?
Oh, yeah. That one song.
She had 2, Luca, too. Remember?
But people know that one. And you would know this. You have one song that gets played forever.
You're on the gravy train.
You're good. That's walking out once a month and picking up a check.
There's that new guy, Noah Kahan, Kahan. He's opening the Star Lake season. I saw him do a festival show a few years ago, and he's like red hot right now. He has a song called Drunk Dialing that really sent him into the stratosphere. Finally, somebody addressed that, I think. He's going to be an interesting opening show for Star Lake. I think it may be sold out, or if not, it'll be closed. So I'm kind of gung-ho about that one, too.
Do me a favor and lay out once and for all the Beaver County connections to Godwin. The song Strong.
Charles Wesley Godwin, who's playing stadiums this year.
We play it on our sister station. It is a killer song.
You're the only station playing him in Pittsburgh area, by the way. Congratulations.
Well, you know why?
Because you actually care about local music?
Well, that's a nice effervescent way to put it. You want to really know why?
Why is that?
Because the only people in Western PA radio that get decide about Western PA radio don't work there.
There you go. Though, to hammer home the point about Charles Wesley, he was on Jimmy Kimmel. Right now, the Grammy Awards just did an interview with him. He's playing stadiums this year. He's played Red Rocks, the Ryman. His band is called the Allegheny High. There are 6 members in this band. All 6 are from Beaver County. It is a Beaver County band backing a guy from Morgantown. They are tight. They recorded their first few albums in New Brighton, where Donnie Iris recorded Aaliyah. They are just very much a local band, and they hang out here. And just the fact, you can see these guys. You can see Al Torrance. He runs the studio in New Brighton. You can see Joey Pinchatti, drummer. Beaver County guys, Nick Catanzari. playing stadiums this year. I don't know if that's ever been done for Beaver County Group.
Well, didn't the Grenades open for Van Halen?
Van Halen. That was a lot of arenas. Oh, yeah, they did the Superdome. That's true. They did do the Superdome.
Right.
That was kind of a new thing.
How did that get hooked up? Did he record his stuff here with these guys as session guys and looked around and said, hey, you guys want to go on the road?
Just a little research, heard there's a studio in New Brighton. I'll go check it out. Yeah, they made a connection right away, and then they started needing some more musicians to fill out the sound. And the owner, Al Torrance, like, well, I know some guy. I know a good drummer. I know a good bass player. I know a pedal steel guy.
World famous quote, I know some dudes. Hang on.
And then the beauty of it, when they toured the first year in 21, they were opening for Zach Bryan, who you know is red hot. He's selling out everywhere. At one point, the money ran out. They weren't getting it, and they were stuck in St. Louis or Indiana somewhere. And then Charles Wesley Godwin made an offer. Look, I can keep you guys on, but it's going to be a big pay cut or whatever. And they said, we're with you. We're ride and die. And they have that loyalty now where, they're going to be together forever. And
that galvanizes a band when you got to deal with real world crap and everybody says, yes, let's deal with it.
Zach Bryan actually poached their pedal steel player, so now they hired a sixth guy, and he's
in
Beaver
Alabama.
County.
In Alabama, they'd shoot him for that.
Poaching,
right?
yeah.
You poaching a pedal steel guy.
That's one of the best verbs I can think of. But
is that what you do in a bar? Hi, my name's Dwayne. I'm a pedal steel guy.
Chicks love it. But yeah, they got a guy, Meeks, from Chippewa, who just graduated from high school a couple years ago. Now he's going to be playing stadiums opening for Luke Combs. I love the local story. I love that the Beaver's playing that music.
What advice would you give that kid? God bless him. You're 19, 20 years old. You're going on a world tour. What advice would you give that kid?
Wow, soak it all in. Just absorb it. Learn from the masters. Watch the headliner, and I don't know. I'm so envious. If they need a publicist who travels with them, give me a call, guys.
Here's my piece of advice to that young man. If the roadie tells you to do it, do it.
Ooh, roadies are your friend.
Roadies are like engineers. You want them to like you. They can make your life so much easier, or they can make your life, well, how come every time I pick up that guitar it's out of tune? Because you took the last sandwich from the roadie tray.
Exactly.
It's exactly it. Scott Tady is my guest. More on the news and notes on Beaver County after we take care of some of this on Beaver County Radio. Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You're listening live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation. Proud to call Beaver County home.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You've got a friend.
Whether it's Little League or the big leagues, it's time to get out and play ball. Friendly Federal Credit Union reminds you that every team looks forward to playing at home in front of a live crowd. Seeing loyal fans can help any player feel more comfortable. Just like a home game in baseball, Friendly Federal Credit Union always has friendly faces to help and cheer you on at the teller window. Now get out of that dugout and in front of your cheering section, the personal live tellers at Friendly Federal Credit Union. And don't forget, applications are now being accepted for the Carl D. Ross and Anthony S. Payne Memorial Scholarships. Follow Friendly Federal Credit Union on Facebook and Twitter. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You got a friend.
Do you remember Thanksgiving and Christmas, how scrumptious your turkey from Jones Turkey Farm was? Why not get one now? They've got chickens and turkeys for $2.50 a pound. Turkey breast just $3.50 a pound. Get it fresh or get it frozen. Just get it. They're all natural, free-roaming, preservative-free, and handled with extreme care. Order now on their fantastic website store, jonesturkeyfarm.com, or call 352-2450 for the tastiest turkey in Western Pennsylvania. It's the Jones Turkey Farm in Cabot. Quite simply, the best.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Here's Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy as he explains the importance of pre-sports testing
to help you reduce the risk of injury.
The intrinsic factors are looking at things within our body that could be causing the problem. So that we start to look at as physical therapists, shoulder range of motion, forces at the elbow, things like that. We're looking at the whole kinetic chain. For example, turning your head side to side. If you have less than 39 degrees of that motion, you have a 9 times increased likelihood of an injury. So these intrinsic factors are both measurable and modifiable. So as a physical therapist, I can take a baseball player or any kind of athlete, I can do my tests on them and see if they're within normal limits or outside of normal limits. And based on research that's been done, I can tell if there's a likelihood of injury or not.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
If springtime at your house sounds more like a buzzsaw than a bird chirping, make sure the sweet music of a circular blade continues all the way until your project is done. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today and apply for a home equity loan. Just like you don't want to let the bird feeder run out of seed, make sure you've got enough materials to keep your power tools humming too.
Why not let your home help with making sure the sawdust keeps flying all spring? 5-year home equity loans are available from just 5.49% with approved credit. After all, your home is the one getting the upgrade, right? Enjoy the sounds of spring at your house this year, whether it's a finch, robin, cardinal, or a cordless drill. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
You're busy, no time to cook, you're hungry, and the kids are too. Don't stress. Make it a McDonald's dinner tonight. Download the app and get McDelivery right to your door. Whatever you're hungry for, McDonald's has it. You're happy, the kids will be too. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The greatest fast food sign I ever saw on the marquee: scream till daddy stops the car.
It's effective.
It works.
Right.
My daughter got her ice cream.
Oh.
Scott Tady from the Beaver County Times, entertainment editor, is my guest. We had some guys in here last week that you got to see in concert, and I was jealous of you because I only got to listen to them, 2 or 3 songs. Do you remember? I'm drawing a blank.
Tony Barge's Honky Tonk Heroes.
That's them.
They did the show this past Saturday at the Beaver Falls Library. A good old time. We got Merle Haggard, we got Waylon, we got Willie, we got Johnny Cash. So we had the Mount Rushmore of outlaw country perform. They did 3 Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. Ended with Freebird. Usually that's a punchline. Freebird. They ended with this insane version of Tony Lang playing guitar like he was Steve Vai. Just a really fun band. A lot of humor in the sets. It was kind of a test for the Beaver Falls Library. They just reopened that second story or the second floor ballroom. They had 2 people play last year in December. They wanted to see if they could do a full band. It sounded good to me. The floor held, the windows held, everything was okay. But good old time.
I'm waiting for you to say the chicken wire stopped all the bottles.
Exactly.
What do you mean the floor held? Well, it's an old library.
You don't like the back set, the way the stage looked. They made it look like a true honky tonk. They were like antler horns and a Jack Daniels barrel and. Sagebrush and
like somebody decorated a Cracker Barrel, but they were really hungover.
It was even more authentic than Cracker Barrel, but yeah. So I'm hoping they have more shows at the Carnegie. It's the Carnegie Free Library at Beaver Falls. They have a December one with the Dewey Decimators. How about that for a band name for playing a library? First of all, the Dewey Decimators.
Does anybody under the age of 40 know what the Dewey Decimal System was?
Probably not. Probably not.
We were forced to learn that, and we were forced to learn the quadratic formula. Has it helped either one of them helped you in your life?
No. I still don't know what a trapezoid is, except for when I watch hockey sometimes they mention that. But anyway, yeah, if you get a chance to see the Beaver Falls Library, I have a bit about that in my next week's column, talking about what a cool show was. The Honky Tonk Heroes are everywhere. Hardest working band in the Tri-State. They're at Kohler Brewing. They're at the Baden American Legion. Just you got to see them if you haven't. It's a lot of fun. They had me play drums with them. Did I tell you that?
Are you a drummer?
No. The drummer walked out in the crowd with like a snare drum.
Well, what did they have you do? Because they can turn down the bad guitar player. A drummer's a different story.
And they didn't take it easy on me. It was during Wipeout, the surf rock guitar song, where drums are a little bit essential to
Dick
that
Dale
song.
drumming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They bring out a snare, 2 pair of drumsticks. The drummer's whacking away. He's like, go, see what you got. So in front of a whole audience, there's video of me, and
that's gutsy, man.
Yeah, I ran out of steam. I thought for a minute I hung in there, but then
people don't realize if you look, most drummers are real sinewy and wiry for a reason. Yeah. Well, drums and drugs typically. Right. But did you enjoy it?
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah,
it's a blast. Yeah, they did a lot of audience interaction, and you don't always see that at local shows. So, yeah, big fan of the Honky Tonk Heroes. For you Facebook people, I'm holding up their CD.
Yeah,
there it is. It's
all right. What should I have gotten out of you that I didn't? We got about a minute left.
Jeff Goldblum's coming to Pittsburgh.
I love Jeff Goldblum. I would have Jeff Goldblum's baby.
He's doing jazz and comedy. I saw him do a similar show in 2019, and it was in Munhall. And of course, he's a Homestead guy, so he just loved being back in Pittsburgh, and he just had a really good connection. So tickets on sale now. I think it's a June 1st show in the Benedum Center. You got to go see Jeff Goldblum. Come on, Mr. Jurassic Park, Mr. 10-Speed and Brown Shoe. You want to go back that far?
Just because you can, does that mean you should? Yes, in this case, you should.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Last thing. Do you think people really understand the comedic breadth of genius that Joe Flaherty was?
No, so I'm glad everyone hopped on the fact he was a Pittsburgher. And
Homewood, right?
Yes, a lot inspired by Chili Billy Cardell, the humor he did on SCTV.
But you're talking about chops. You're working at SCTV or Second City in Chicago, and they send you and go do one of these up in Toronto. Start this up. And John Candy ends up. Super Dave Osborne ends up. Kathleen O'Hara ends up. Harold Ramis ends up. Eugene Levy.
That sparked a debate, SNL or SCTV. What was the better show?
SCTV.
A lot of people think so.
And I might argue that Fridays was okay just because Melanie Chardoff and...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and the druggist that took all his own pills, and Michael Richards.
From later on Seinfeld?
Later on Seinfeld started on, and Fridays.
Wow.
Fridays was it for me. SNL was okay, but SNL, the original core had started to go away.
Yeah.
Like, what's this new stuff? Ooh, Melanie Chartoff, she's cute. I'll watch her.
And, of course, Monty Python.
Hey, well, all right. We'll save this discussion. There's about 10 things that Monty Python did that were brilliant. The rest, quite off-putting.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Well, we can agree on that. I didn't know you played drums. Scott Tady, drummer.
Barely.
And Buddy Rich, impersonator. Yeah. You don't think it's physical work until about halfway through a fast song. You're like, oh, my arms.
I was trying to channel Ginger Baker, but it did not work.
Hey, you probably channeled Ginger Baker off stage.
Yeah.
Scott, great seeing you. As always, it's Teleforum.
Did you know that the Beaver County Conservation District has an 80-acre facility in Independence Township with an office building that includes an education classroom, plus trails that are perfect for hiking, dog walking, and horseback riding? The wetlands on the grounds offer ample bird watching opportunities, and the grounds are also open to limited hunting during Pennsylvania hunting seasons. The Conservation District also offers a large variety of programs, from agricultural help and lime spreader no-till drill rental programs to Chapter 102, 105 permitting, and everything in between. Chapter 102 deals with all things soil and land. Chapter 105 covers waterways. The Conservation District issues and oversees all 102, 105 permitting in Beaver County. If you need help with your permitting, have a question, or simply don't know if you need a permit, reach out to the Beaver County Conservation District online or call 724-378-1701.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
I found the perfect place for Mom, the Village at St. Barnabas. Luxury condo-style living with activities, restaurants, a hair salon, and she can bring her dog Lucky.
Discover the Village at St. Barnabas. Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com for a tour.
St. Barnabas thanks you for listening to Beaver County Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to Notes.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.